Hi everyone. This is such an amazing weekend and Saturday starting. We are quite excited to have this conversation with you all and have you with us. Today we are going to dive into what we heard as founders from our users about new world talking to AI and how is the experience. So we spent 2 weeks talking to almost 100 plus users who are talking to AI as their companion, as somebody who's a customer and different avatars. And we gathered a lot of insights on how, as humans, we are moving into a new era where AI bots would be our friends, our coaches, our teachers, our mentors, and potentially customers or even the sellers. So we all will have a hybrid workforce that we are, or hybrid population that we are moving towards, something that we have only witnessed in sci-fi movies. So yeah, so we are here to reveal some secrets of what we understood, how we as humans are taking up this challenge and really gelling well with AI and finding it as more of our friend or an adversary. So with that, let's get started. So Maxim, my I would like to start with your perspective on being an engineer and being building such cool technology all the time and building AI bots that are customers and helping sales agents sell better to those customers and be ready for the real world challenges. What do you feel about the whole thing, whole concept of talking to AI and AI customers? Do you think this is another sci-fi movie or the challenge looks different?
Yeah, so I think over the last few years, the change that has been is quite drastic and exponentially fast. I think it over the period of years, machine learning AI has been there for quite some time, right? So it has been solving different kinds of problems. Uh, Usually, when AI and ML took off, it was trying to solve very specific problems, which was done with a lot of training, and you feed it with loads and loads and loads of data, and then you solve for one narrow use case, right? So that was for a good 10-15 years. I think that is how AI was applied. The only form of conversational intelligence that was happening is in terms of being able to give like simple commands, and I think it was Alexa which probably tried to make it mainstream first, right? In some form of talking to AI was something which was started by Alexa, right? It worked well for that generation, and now a lot of things have evolved. But that was the starting point. And if you see the trend that has changed over the years for all consumers as well, talking to AI was something that people were not comfortable for a very long time, even until the recent years.
Hmm.
Your remote always had that button of telling a command, and we never used it.
Right.
Right? It was for two reasons. One, it was never accurate. I mean, you tell something, it would never pick it. Right? So yeah, you had to struggle 3 times to get to the right video that you want Netflix to play. But right now, I think it's a little better. It's still not great, but you will see that you're yourself more comfortable talking and giving a voice command, right? It's probably because of accuracy as well. You can't say that it is not, you can't just not attribute it to that. But over a period of time, people are getting more and more comfortable with conversational intelligence. And that has also been with the pace how accuracy of AI has improved, right? And I think LLMs itself has brought a very major shift, because LLMs made that entry curve so easy for people to just go and experiment. So it brought a wide array of people just being comfortable experimenting with AI, because it just cut out all the friction that was required. And
Hmm.
once that trend came into the picture and LLMs became so easy to use, to integrate, to build wrappers over LLMs as an application, it just became so easy that so many products came out that you find AI everywhere. And when it's everywhere, it is something that people slowly start getting used to, right? And that is what is happening even in conversational intelligence. And you will see that a lot of products now are trying to integrate voice commands. It is becoming a norm slowly. I would still say that it's in the early adoption stage if you consider the global population, but it is going to pick up very fast in terms of how conversational intelligence is working. So Nikita, that is my thought. What do you feel about the experience in AI interactions, right? In these kind of interactions, what do you feel constitutes like a good experience, and what prompts people to use such AI tools, something that they're new to?
Yeah. So I think, Maxim, I would again throw one more question back at you as soon as I answer this one.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I hear a lot, and I always bring more problems to you than solutions, obviously. So I'll tell you what I hear a lot, that what matters in these AI experiences, what users, I think 90% of the users say that we want more human touch. Conversations are so integral to us as human beings, and even if we want to have even if we want to consider something or some entity to be equal to us in society, where we feel that this entity can train us, can coach us, can be my customer, or I want to talk to this entity, which is AI in this case, they want it to be like them. They want it to behave like them, emote like them. In fact, they want it to be like, something which is so human that it has background noise of birds chirping. And it shouldn't talk like Alexa. Like, they don't want to talk to Alexa. They want to talk to a human being who has intelligence of AI, I think. Yeah. I mean, super smart, but talking like a human being, like you and me. And that really, I think, augments experience. That makes them feel that this is real world, not a virtual world, not a tech world. And the second is that they are happy to have those conversations which would have debates, which would have disconnects, dissonance, right? They want AI to not accept everything that they are saying. They want AI to reject their hypothesis, debate with them, and have those real conversations that we all have. That's what I think they expect. But then my question to you is that, are you guys really trying to build something like that? Is engineering and tech world moving towards that? And if that happens, what's the existence of us as humans, and what's the differentiator of us being humans really?
Right. Yeah. So I think tech is definitely advancing towards that, and you will see that the expectations also change with time, right? So if you look back at the early era of the internet, your dial-up stage where you are perfectly okay to wait, hit the button, and then it used to make a lot of noise. Your modem used to make a lot of noise, and you are okay to wait for 30 seconds for it to connect to the internet, and you
Yeah,
are perfectly okay for the video for a image to load top down, right? So the early days of internet. From there we moved to Spotify being able to achieve a 200 millisecond response time for streaming music, right? Where you click of the button, it plays, right? And the 200 milliseconds is something that humans cannot detect, so they are able to make it seem like real time. So similarly, if you see even in terms of conversational intelligence, I don't think you ever had a problem with Siri using the same voice. Siri had a robotic voice for quite some time,
yeah,
right? You
yeah,
never had a problem with Alexa using the same voice, being bound to a boundary where you say, ask it to play anything beyond music.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
yeah, you never had a problem, and it used to give the same thing, same reply. That's sorry, I don't
Yeah,
understand, right?
yeah,
And you are perfectly okay with it. And
yeah,
today, suddenly, you're not, right?
yeah,
And that is because so many tools are coming and people are doing the impossible. So people automatically adjust expectations, and I think technology moves along that pace.
yeah,
And now probably you're seeing a new wave of AI SDRs coming into the picture, right?
yeah, yeah,
And a lot of people say that, hey, I don't think people will be comfortable talking to AI,
yeah,
right? But I
yeah,
think over a period of time, when mainstream things happen, things do change, right?
right.
And it may not completely eliminate people in itself, but it will replace people's expectations, right?
Mm,
Today, you go to any chatbot, right? You will never find a person talking to you directly in the first go, right? You will always find a chatbot, and you
yeah,
don't have a problem with it, right? Initially, people did find that, hey, this is impossible. You'll never be able to reach that phase,
mm,
right? So but what happens is that technology evolves. These expectations become normal,
mm,
and engineering enables it one way or the other, right? And people fall in different buckets. There are people who are very uncomfortable with it, people who are early adopters, and that curve is eventually reached. And
mm,
engineering is definitely moving towards that pace in terms of systems being more and more intelligent. It's hard to say today what might happen in the future given the way things are advancing. If I have to mention, I think a lot of things will be automated by AI. That is how technology has advanced over a period of time. But
mm,
it will also not be able to replace humans in the near term. It will augment a lot of people to do better, your best people to do better, and it will probably be able to automate um, something which is regular work, something which does not require a lot of thinking, a lot of cognitive ability being put into the picture. So those kind of things I think will get automated first, and eventually as systems get more intelligent, more GPUs become more powerful, context windows can become bigger, right? So that's when
Yeah.
some really cool things will start happening, and it may not be very far as well. It might very well happen in the next 1 year or even shorter than that, right? Because it's tech is surprising us every day in terms of what new things are being done in the pace that no one expected. So yeah, but I do believe that a lot of things that we see in sci-fi movies is something that will start shaping up in in little capacities one by one.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I think that that's what one insight that we have heard from the users, and you, when you were talking to them, you heard them say that they are quite excited to talk to AI. And if we zoom into our use case where we are trying to sort of give them AI avatars of their potential customers, some of the things that come to mind are very clear benefits like safe space. Customers don't give you that safe feeling of safety because you have to sell it to them. So selling to AI as a customer feels like you are selling to a friend. You are just trying to practice, and then you'll be ready for the real world challenges. So I think in training environment where things have been, old age, and sorry Udemy and Coursera for saying that, but old age theoretical courses, now we are getting into the world where we are learning while we are talking, we're learning by practicing, and we are instantly becoming better. Instant improvement. So I think that's something that users find pretty cool, pretty gratifying. We are in a world which is instant gratification world. So they really like that. They want personalization. Like we are now, you look at Gen Z's, Gen Alpha is coming into the picture, and we can see that they all want
We're
personalized
learning by
focus.
practicing, and we are
Uh,
instant improvement. So I think that's something that users find pretty cool, pretty gratifying. We are in a world which is instant gratification world, so they really like that. They want
Sorry, I think there's an echo. Is that right?
yes, yes, there is.
Yeah. So sorry, I think Nikita had an echo. So if you can just if you I think I got caught up in that echo. So if you can just repeat if you ask me a question.
Yes. No, I actually was just explaining the use case that
Mhm.
we are observing that, people want instant gratification, and we are seeing
Yeah.
new generation coming in that wants it to be like now. I want something now. So that is something that's coming. And now we are seeing Gen Alpha also coming, joining the forces where personalization is so important. Our next generation feels that they are the sun, and, the whole solar system is revolving around them. So which means that personalization becomes so important, which AI can do far more scalably. So if you look at our use cases, and we are seeing thousands of sellers, everybody getting that personalized tailor advice is now possible because of AI. Ice breaking, new students coming into
Yeah.
sales as a profession and leaving it within 3 months, right? That's because they have not expected how to sell, right? The world actually is not like Wolf of Wall Street. You don't really go and just walk into it selling a pen to anybody. It's more like it's very scary situation, and who can combat that? Is your personality naturally aligned to it? So that AI can help them practice. They can also have a fair amount of flow done. So, okay, this is the way I sell. I start with the right basics, greet, rapport building. Then I get into the business. I don't straight away land my customer into, okay, let's get to the business kinds. So I think there are a lot of benefits that new sellers versus seasoned sellers are getting by interacting with AI. And that's becoming very quantifiable. I would say that for enterprises, there are loads and loads of AI tools available in the market, but where I'm seeing the differentiator for us and what users really want to be the differentiator is, can I quantify the impact? Can I see the impact on ground and changes instantly? So I think that's one of the big ones. So yeah, so I think here I have another question for you, that while we see the benefits, Maxim, what do you feel are some of the ways in which we can not just create this euphoria of AI being there and, cool thing in the town, but really sustaining it in terms of adoption, in terms of people continuing to get benefit out of it, and also adapting this curve to make it more and more better for them.
Right. Yeah. So I think when these tools are coming out, right? So one important thing to understand is for sustained, for both, right? For value and impact to come and sustained impact to be there, people have to first use it and then they have to use it over a sustained period of time, right? So these are two challenges, and each of them has different barriers to it. So first is when you have to get people to use it, right? Different people, if you consider in an enterprise, right, those as a benefit, some people really love to go and try out new things, so they just go and try it out, right? So and then they see, then they calibrate their expectations, right, what is working well, what is not working well. And something that we have realized also is that a lot of our users told us that it really makes them confident, right, because it is a safe space. And for them, talking to a customer directly after their training, especially for people who have never sold before, is like a terrifying experience.
Hmm.
So having a bot to talk to just makes them really comfortable, and and learning happens. It's difficult to combine fear and learning together, right? If you're really scared, you
Right.
can't learn at the same time. You will eventually, like if you make hundreds of calls over a period of time, you will learn. But it is like a different experience where you're learning from fear, right? Not every person is thick-skinned. Not every person is comfortable going through that fear, right? And for everybody, this gives a safe space. Now, when it is similarly, when you're considering adoption, it is important to consider where people are, because different people have different discomforts. There are people who don't believe in AI, right? Who believe that AI is just another fad, which is probably not going to lead to any outcome. So I don't even want to try it, right? There are other people who are very skeptical that okay, it may work, may not work. This product may not work. So that is another set of people. Of course, then there are people who will do it if people tell them to, and there are people who would try it irrespective, right? So when this is being released for enterprises on the ground, it's very important that enterprises realize this as well. That you can't
Hmm.
just roll out an AI product and expect people to use it, right? You need to facilitate it. You need to release it in a way that you tell people what to expect, right? Alleviate some of their fears. Tell
Hmm.
them what might come their way. What are the challenges? What are the benefits? So it's very important for the person. It's very different than onboarding like a learning management system or whatever has been used over the years, right? This has to be handled very differently, and we have also seen where the enterprise person is deeply involved with us and is constantly working like a collaborative partnership. The usage on the ground and the impact that it brings in is very very high.
Hmm.
Whereas if people take a I'll just release it and see what pans out. We have seen that there is struggle, right? And some people bring out their struggle. Some people are quietly not even mentioning anything. So this understanding that every person is in a different point of their change curve of adopting AI is very important for the implementation person of the organization.
Hmm.
And the moment you understand that, you will find it quite easy to roll it out on the ground and see impact.
Hmm.
So that is what I would recommend people who are rolling out AI to be very mindful of.
Right, right. I think, yeah, that's so true. So, just to take an example from very recent launches that we have done, the single differentiator is that there's a lot of talk about, before differentiator, I would talk about the fear of on-ground teams, right? That are these bots replacing us, right? Are these bots really going to take away our jobs? But I really feel what has really made a difference in implementation of these bots is that the pivotal role these people have played to facilitate these conversations, to always help users and employees answer those important questions, why they are talking to AI, how will it impact them, constantly measuring impact, constantly optimizing that impact, taking right decisions, right? So instead of AI taking away their job, it's actually helping them take right decisions. The effectiveness or the pivotal change that I think in the last meeting, Michelle also spoke about from Insurance Office of America, is that the pivotal change that we are seeing in training teams' role is going to be from being administrators to being decision makers
Yep.
and really connecting with customers' pain points and bringing it back how their sellers can bridge that gap, bringing that wisdom into the system. So now they will have far more opportunity to explore new avenues, grow learning and development towards more, I would say, more strategic, business aligned function, and we be able to deliver direct outcomes for business, right?
Right.
So that's the pivotal change that is needed, but the hard work that's required on the ground to make AI accepted, continuously driving it is actually the make or break. I would just, call out some of the change champions on the ground with our clients who have really made this effort and have seen exponential results. So, yes, I do agree that the change management and on-ground role of L&D will really determine Salesforce effectiveness in the future. From there, what do you feel, Maxim, could be some of the big game changers in this domain of Salesforce effectiveness using AI?
Yeah. So right now, I think sales is one of the areas which is um, very initially targeted, right? Because sales is a function which is easy to relate to outcomes, and it is like a business driving function. So sales is one of the hot spaces where AI is being implemented in different ways. There are whole processes being automated. Outbound channels are completely automated using AI, right? Earlier it used to be like
Right.
it used to be Apollo maybe that used to do your email outreaches, then you used to reach out via LinkedIn. A lot of it was manual. Now personalization happens via AI, right? Which in some cases is good. In some cases it can be tricky because now if everybody is personalizing using AI, so what's the differentiator, right? So, but you may not need a differentiator. Whoever does it well will get the slice of the revenue. So that's how it will work. Similarly, automation is happening in a lot of processes, right? How SDRs are operating, how integration to CRM happens. You don't have to put your to-dos from your meeting onto your CRM. They are all picked up by that note-taking tool, right? So similarly, AI SDRs are slowly coming into the picture, right? So
Right.
initial calls are done by AI, and I think that that might be a very nice shift as well, because uh, nobody likes having too many meetings to get to an outcome. If it was
Right.
possible that I can quickly get my answers via an AI
Hmm.
versus HDR who understands only 40-50% of the product, right? And has to go back to your team to answer three difficult questions that you ask. Um, I think a AI would give a far better value outcome that
Hmm.
it has the entire product information, and whichever question you ask, it's able to give you like a very personalized and accurate answer, right? That experience is not something that everyone might be comfortable with. It might take a little bit more time. So this way, I do believe that AI is advancing quite a bit. Real calls are getting analyzed from different lenses. And I think sales in itself will have like a lot of potential, lot of movement. One of the most aggressive play by startups is happening in the sales domain itself, right?
Hmm.
So, and that is just going to open up a lot more avenues of what AI will be able to do. Will it be able to, if OpenAI has released something which is a replacement to consultants, I'm sure that whatever is done in sales should also be automatable, right? Will it be affordable? Will it be accepted? Will it be
Right.
used is a different problem, but technology will be able to do a lot of cool things.
Right, so true. So, Maxim, one question that I have also is on the predictability. So, do you think that because as humans we are so unpredictable? So, one thing that I heard from users constantly being said, who are sellers and who are going in the market, and what's the difference between talking to an AI bot as a customer versus a real customer is that, they always say it's obviously talking to a customer is a different experience. And when I tried asking why, and I did like that, that 5 why analysis, what I understood was the core problem is AI becomes very predictable and very methodical process oriented over a period of time in conversation. It's like ChatGPT. What you try to tell to the bot is what bot will respond to. But real humans are not like that. Humans can throw googly anytime, right? They would just, you're talking something and I'm thinking something else, and then I'll just say something completely different. So I want to know that is it possible for AI to really, and this is a question from our users, I would say, that to make conversations a little roller coaster, unpredictable, unrelated, and make it more human, because that's very big challenge for sellers. They have to converge conversation towards outcomes, towards selling, and therefore customers going in all directions can really divert them from being able to achieve this goal. So I want to know that is it even possible for AI to do that?
Yeah, so it should be possible, but we are also facing couple of barriers in it, because the way human beings behave versus how AI behaves is different in a lot of ways, right? So a human being has like a lot of internal information, like the concerns, which suddenly might spark a thought in their head. It might just be information, it is not directly related to the information, or it
Correct.
could be just going on a tangent for whatever reason, right? Somebody walking through your door, you
Yeah.
getting distracted, right? So there are n number of possibilities to accommodate all that in a bot conversation is very tricky, right?
Right.
Because you'll have to probably define a lot of stuff, and
Hmm.
when you start defining stuff, it just becomes infinite possibilities, right?
Right.
And you can't define infinite things. But
Right.
in a real world, because it's a real world, right? There are so many things happening, and even in your, if you see your brain, right, you have so many different possibilities that it is just natural in a real world scenario and for humans. But in an AI world, you have to feed it, and you
Hmm.
can't feed like just infinite stuff. So that is one of the challenges. So typically, how this is solved is we try to get what are the common scenarios, and we try to feed it to the system, so we try to simulate those common scenarios at least, right? And
Hmm.
eventually AI might evolve into being able to replicate real world scenarios on its own from a backward automation maybe. But yeah, so it is, but it is not that engineering is not able to do it. It is just that we need someone really intelligent to solve the problem, right, in a very expandable way, which can be like just like how LLM solved it, right? But even for an LLM, if you are able to pick up real world simulation, I think that is something which will solve this problem in a to bring that randomization into the picture.
Okay, so what I hear you say is that domain expertise still continues to be the king for any AI model to work. And therefore, when it comes to really thinking of how we can replace, one tool can replace all other AI tools, say Copilot coming into the picture or Gemini, it's going to be hard because everything requires that domain expertise.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. All right, we are at the fag end, Maxim. This was super cool, fun. I'm sure it was for users and for our viewers as well. So we are happy to take any questions if we have in last couple of minutes. And yeah, moving from there.
So Nikita, I think the real live event has like a delay of a minute.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it is just reaching a point where we have asked for questions.
Yes. So Akriti asks a question. Who do you close the loop? Let users know their feedback shape the product.
Okay, so where are you seeing the question? Sorry about that. Doing this for the first time.
On the live portal, I'm just seeing one question.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yes. So, Akriti, I can pick that question for you. Uh, we basically close the loop by really involving users in our process. What we do is that we understand their experiences, and then we summarize it on what could be the things that AI can do, cannot do, and some of the actions that we have taken on the bots. And then we we continue this loop as an iterative loop where we ask them for more advice or any kind of concerns that they have, and we constantly keep bridging it so that it's more like user-led iterative thinking, if that makes sense to you. Maxim, there's another question. Maybe you can answer that. I think human intelligence, Pranav asks, I think human intelligence can't be replaced by AI. I second that, Pranav.
Yeah, human intelligence is very complex, right? It has evolved over billions of years of evolution. So, I mean, humans in itself might have been for a shorter period of time, but the intelligence, the way it has evolved in humans is very different. But the fundamental models and the early AI ML systems were built trying to replicate how the human brain is. And I think even human brain science in itself, right? It is in a very nascent stage. We ourselves as human beings don't know how the human brain works and how it leads to this kind of intelligent thinking, decision making, considering so many different factors, right? As that is uncovered, more and more intelligence will creep into AI as well. Because that is how a lot of inventions have happened, from flights to different devices, right? It is just replicating how things used to work in real life. So human intelligence, a lot of it, I 100% agree that its current state of AI will not be able to replace it, especially cognitively evolved tasks. There are a lot of tasks that are getting automated, which is straight boundary based intelligence, right? So being able to maybe see, for example, an LLM can easily write content, but it may not be able to write like a Stephen King, for example, right? This way, like it cannot replicate certain forms of human intelligence, but it will also be able to automate some of the things which can be made easy for human beings. So, and how much AI will replace intelligence in itself is time will tell, and we are looking forward to what AI can do in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Maxim, for that. And Pranav, just to add one more line to it, intelligence is like so much more nuanced and multifaceted as as a concept. So what we are seeing is that one form of intelligence that AI definitely supersedes humans on is memory, right? It has so much of data to ingest and then play it back and really bring sense to it that we keep forgetting, but AI keeps building and AI training models become smarter. So that's one form of intelligence that we are losing our grip on, and AI is definitely way ahead of us. But dot connection and logical reasoning, being able to bring in different scenarios into picture, I think definitely we are far, far more ahead than AI. So that's my one point on that. We also have one more question from Ketan. What's your advice for early stage teams trying to build user feedback loops into their AI product from day one? That we getting, but AI keeps building and AI training models become smarter. So that's one form of intelligence.
Yeah. So Nikita, I think I can answer that. So I think it's important that when you're building AI products, constantly talk to people, right? And try to understand what are their challenges, because sometimes the challenges are far different from just what traditional products had, right? It is very different. There are fears, right? There are discomforts. So and sometimes what you need to do is not in the product itself. It is probably something that you may have to have a meeting, right? You may have to arrange a meeting. It is completely outside the product, right? You may have to get their leader to say something. So it is completely out of the product, because iterating products is what good product teams anyway understand, right? They know how to look at mixed panel analytics. They know how to see adoption. They know how to do A/B testing for UI. They know all of it, right? But for a new technology like this, it's also important to consider aspects which fall outside the boundary of the product itself. How you involve people, how you make them feel comfortable, how you make them how you make it simple for them to use AI. Just cut that curve, cut that friction, and get them to experience the product so that they can see value in it in a sustained fashion.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maxim. Maxim, we are getting a lot of questions. I'll pick up one more, which is from Ranu, which is that with so many AI tools, prompts, and automation options available today, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. How many of you are confused about what to use, what's right for your business, or where to even start? I think that's such a spot on question, Ranu, and thank you for asking that. Like when we talk to our enterprise customers, we see so many options that are available to them. And we always tell them that, and this is like a little funny, I would say, that our clients would tell us that we need to embed AI. And I always ask them the question back, what is the problem that you are solving? Because it's not important how we solve that problem, whether we use AI to solve that problem or solve it manually. The point is that what is that problem that we are trying to solve, and then looking at tools that can be closer to solutions, right? So then evaluating different options, tools available in the market, automation options which are there to solve that problem. And the second part is that it's very, very important to do lots and lots of experiments. It's going to be extremely hard for all of us as business decision makers uh, to make a decision and pin down one tool that works. But it's very important that we are in a world which is going to be pilot era. We will keep piloting, keep trying with different tools till we arrive or till we agree on one tool that really works for us in its best way. So we are in the world which is going to be far more experimentative. There are no definite answers, and you have loads of choices. So it's very important as startups that we all create quick prototypes, quick trialable products, and demonstrate that value that customer is looking for very, very quickly. So I hope I'm able to answer that, but that's coming from pure industry input that we are getting. One last question, Maxim, from Syed. We should also decide when to rely on AI and when to rely on human brain when we take some judgment calls.
Yeah, absolutely, right. So this is critical, and this is where I feel a lot of people miss the point. We advocate a lot for human in the loop when we're implementing AI, whether it's for a hiring use case, whether it is for our sales bots where we give them a report, right? So sometimes what happens is that that advice may be perfectly applicable to you. Sometimes it might require you to think that, hey, this is probably not 100% applicable to my scenario, right? So you can't take everything that AI says at face value. And the mistake people make is to do that, right? And we see this very commonly in interviews that you give people an assignment and they just feed it into AI, and whatever AI spits it without even doing a reprompt, they just put it together and send it to us, right? And it's so easily spottable that it's done by AI. You don't even need an AI detection tool to do that. And that is where I feel like people who take it too easy, right, who just don't use AI to combine it with your intelligence, are the people who are going to get replaced the fastest, right? So AI is not here to take, I mean, AI will take the jobs of people who are just using it blindly, right? So there's a lot of difference between using AI very intelligently, and I do believe that everybody should use AI today, right? But use it intelligently, use it such that it gives you 10 different ideas, and you as a human being should complement your intelligence to pick out like what are the two best ones out of them, and which is that one I can implement from it, right? So that's when you will become a superpower. Otherwise, you will just become something that AI is replacing you, because that's exactly what you're doing, right? You're just throwing whatever AI gave you back to somebody else. So what's stopping people? What's stopping AI from doing it without you? So when you use your intelligence and combine it with AI, that's when you become irreplaceable, and that's the right way to look at it.
Perfect. I think, Maxim, so we are really at the last part. So we are done. We are already 8 minutes ahead. We love this interaction, by the way. Thank you so much who's joined us, Sayed, Ranu, Ketan, Pranav, Akriti. Thanks for asking such wonderful questions. And we'll be circulating the recording soon. And yes, have a wonderful weekend ahead from here. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
everyone for joining. Thank you. Bye bye.